Hey everybody, welcome to another walk and talk at Untermyer Park on this beautifully atmospheric March 17th, 2025. And why do I say the date? Well, it's our 4-year anniversary today. Yep, March 17th, 2021. Went out on a day very similar to today, in fact, and very close to where we are, and we're gonna walk a little bit of that trail today as we celebrate our 4-year anniversary. And of course, what better place to come back than the old stomping grounds, which you've seen a million times. Untermyer Park, where today I actually have what I hope to be a fun and interesting little topic for you today. And that topic is, what questions would I ask David Berkowitz? And in a sense, this video can almost be considered an open letter to this guy Berkowitz. And we'll get into that in a second as we look on the beautiful vista and the beautiful weeping beech tree here in the walled garden of Untermyer Park. So of course we'll also take a look at any little plant fun things. Here we go, here's some flowers. But it's not even spring yet, of course. We're just a few days away from spring. As we see here, the buds. Ready to open up, ready to unfurl. So today's video was actually inspired by just an outlandish rumor that I heard going around yet again. People just making stuff up about me. I'm not gonna say who said it. I'm not gonna get into angry fights anymore. I'm not gonna start or perpetuate drama. It's just not what I'm about. But I wanted to discuss this rumor. Ooh, beautiful fog. Let's go check that out. I wanted to discuss this rumor today because it actually lends itself to bringing up our topic of what questions I would like to ask Berkowitz. And we'll get into this outlandish, insane, absolutely invented out of thin air story that I hear going around about me. Look at that fog down there on the Hudson River. Whoa, that's crazy, that fog. We've never seen that before in all of our videos. And I knew today would be a great day visually to come out here, despite the fact that there's no leaves. Just this gray atmospheric conditions lends itself so well to this admittedly weird, occult tinged architecture here at Untermyer Park, which is just really is a coincidence of this whole thing that Berkowitz ended up here in Yonkers. And of course, that's a question that we'll ask in our walk and talk today as I ease on into the subject of the questions that I would personally ask David Berkowitz. Hopefully they have now the steps open. Let's see. Maybe get a better view here of the fog on the river. Wow. I'll tell you, I grew up here. Even I have rarely seen this, if ever. To see what looks like just an absolute cloud right over the Hudson River. It's really amazing. I'm sure it's not coming through on camera as it does here in real life. So let's get on into the subject, shall we? So I was reading comments on Eric Hunley's interview with Wendy Savino, OJ Savino, and Detective Klein, and if you haven't seen that already, you should check it out as we look here at this statue Is it a cult? Is this satanic? I don't know. I mean, you know me, I'm not into that crap. I know nothing about this occultic. I know nothing about these statuaries or meanings of any of it. I do know they have a fig leaf over the penis here. So for all you people out there who are into Untermyer and occult, here we have a snake. You'll probably think that the feet mean something too, the sandals. So here, have fun. Here's your fig leaf. Here's your whatever, crown. Ooh. Damn, this looks nice today here. I'm so happy I came up here today. Because quite frankly, I'm out of material for the time being. We'll update you. We'll get you updated on some things. But, all right, so as we go down the 1,000 steps and head towards the aqueduct, I want to go down and see the Weir house today on the aqueduct, see if the graffiti that I think that was written by Berkowitz is still there or if it's been destroyed. Of course, you all remember on March 17th, 2021, when I walked that pathway, we saw the graffiti, and it was fresh still. I mean, it wasn't covered up, but over the years, it has been somewhat defaced. Anyway, so, stupid rumors. So, I read a comment on Eric Hunley's video about, oh, Manny, he wrote a letter to Berkowitz pretending it wasn't him, where he praised himself. And so I read that and I was like, huh? And then of course I thought back upon this other, I heard it also recently from one of these characters in Berkowitz's fan club about how Manny wrote him a letter. He tried to pass it off that it wasn't him, but we know it's him. And I have to say, as this guy, he was literally frothing at the mouth as he said this. Gobs of spittle just like coming out of his mouth in all sorts of directions. He was like, I'm gonna keep Berkowitz from Manny. Manny's never gonna speak to Berkowitz. And I'm happy about that. I'm proud of that. Well, first of all, why are you proud of that? Why are you proud of gatekeeping? All you did by saying that was show that you're not interested in Son of Sam truth. But be that as it may, get as happy as you want saying that. Have the most grandest time that you ever had in your life gleefully talking about keeping Berkowitz from me, because I don't care. And I didn't write that letter. I'll talk about who did in a second, because I know all about this letter. I just haven't been saying anything about it. I don't want to speak to Berkowitz. Berkowitz is a liar. He lied to Maury Terry. He lied to NYPD about Savino. He lied to his Christian friends. He lies to you guys daily. And he would lie to me. So why would I want to speak to this guy? As we look at this absolutely beautiful visage of the Hudson River with fog encapsulated in fog, shrouded. Oh man, this is so nice. Damn, this is so nice. So this letter does exist that these people think was written by me. And I only heard about it because I was watching a video by, this is a nice kid, I have to say. I like this kid. I got nothing against him. Nuke Hoax 2024, I even shouting out his name. He was a kid who came across our video series, and he was nice to me and said nice things about me. So therefore I was open and happy to have him on board as a viewer. And I still am. Nuke, I know you're gonna watch this. I'm not angry at you. But your letter that you wrote has caused has caused actually this video to exist. So in a way, you did good for the audience, because it was the subject of a new video. So Nuke Hoax wrote that letter. He talked about it in a video live stream that he was doing, where he said, and I was watching the live stream, he goes, Manny, I think I'm gonna write Berkowitz a letter, or maybe he said he wrote it already. I'm not quite sure. I don't really remember the details. But he had mentioned that he was gonna write Berkowitz a letter. And I have to say that immediately, in real time, as I was hearing this, I was saying, don't to myself, and I didn't tell him this because I don't wanna try to dictate what people do. And I didn't realize he was going to use my name in this letter. But I would have advised him, had I spoken to him before he sent it, to not send it. First of all, it's futile. Berkowitz is not a nice guy. Who's your loving Jewish grandfather? And I'm not talking to you, Nuke Hoax. I'm talking to the collective community. He may have nutty fans, right? But so does BTK, and so does Charlie Manson, and so did John Wayne Gacy. These people end up with weird fans. But this guy is not the kind of person who's gonna be like an honest dealer with you and is gonna give you what you want, which is the truth. I know that already, which is why I don't wanna speak to him. I've crowed over the years about writing him a letter and wanting to get in touch with him, but I've actually never have done it. When push came to shove, I never actually wrote any letters, certainly never sent any, because I have inculcated something which I guess the rest of you haven't realized. That this guy's a liar. You're not gonna get what you want. And besides, you don't even need him anyway for most of the answers of Son of Sam. Today's video is going to deal with the unanswered questions. Still haven't gotten to those yet. As we walk into the fog of Untermyer Park towards the Satanic gatehouse, where hooded and robed men were sacrificing animals. I mean, I guess I can believe some of that stuff. I did walk around here with Mr. E, and unless he was the biggest bullshitter on planet Earth, he said he witnessed this crap firsthand right here. I mean, right on the spot. Of course, it was in the 80s, years after Berkowitz was safely in jail. So I failed to see what it has to do with David Berkowitz. Oh yeah, it was connected through the years. Okay, whatever, dudes. I mean, so yeah, Nuke Hoax. So exactly what I thought would happen happened. You sent that letter, it got to Berkowitz. He either he thought it was me, or his very not bright, very brain dead fan club thought it was me, because they are putting out this rumor now that it was me. They're actually saying it. So he sent them that letter immediately, and hence I'm here talking to you guys about it. But again, I'm not here complaining. I don't care. Like, Nuke, you're good. We're good. As we look at this 1980s era pentagram, children were sacrificed here by Ace Brown. Rothstein saw it. I failed to see a bench out here where Rothstein would sit. He's talked constantly about benches that he sat on. Anyway, Nuke, we're good. This actually provided me a great segue into our topic today, which I have not even gotten to yet. I'm just chilling, enjoying this atmosphere here of the shrouded in fog Untermyer Park. Here on the 4-year anniversary of the beginning of our video series, which started right there on that path, which we're gonna go down to and walk again, because I wanna go see the Weir House as we talk more about this letter that I did not write to Berkowitz. Was written by Nuke Hoax. Nuke, I'm sorry to expose you in this. It's not like I'm trying to do this maliciously. I'm really not. Like I said, we're good. I know your heart was in the right place with that. You're a young guy. You're 28 years old. You haven't been around the block yet in terms of the media and the Son of Sam community. These people are actually complaining to the NYPD, Internal Affairs, about the Wendy Savino. So you're just like nothing to them. So the point is, like, actually, I don't know what point I was making. The point I was making to that, but the upshot is you had no idea what you were stepping into. Is kind of what I'm saying. And so they're spreading this rumor, gleefully and frothing at the mouth, gobs of spittle, literally coming out from everywhere that you could possibly see when they gleefully talk about, I'm gonna keep Berkowitz from it. Keep him. Keep him. I don't care, dudes. I don't want to talk to your hero. I would like to know some unanswered questions, which I think I'm finally going to start discussing right now. But other than that, I got my answers. I don't need to go any further. It's weird how these rumors, like, I don't even know where they started or how they start. Rumors going around the years. It's been the source of entertainment, and I have to say consternation, because nobody likes their integrity questioned. Whatever. That's just comes with the territory. Nuke Hoax. You got to get more media savvy. You should have talked to me before you sent that letter to Berkowitz. It didn't screw anything up. It just caused more craziness and consternation amongst his fans, which I guess is a good thing. They actually think that I they actually think that I wrote that, Nuke Hoax. So anyhow, give Nuke a subscribe, give him a like. I haven't seen him online actually since this incident occurred, and I wonder whether that's connected. I don't want to be so bold as to say that it is, but Nuke Hoax, we still love you here at the Grossman Files. So please don't, I actually am curious about what that letter said, because again, I know nothing about it, and I only found out that it mentioned my name after the fact. So anyhow, so again, gatekeepers of Berkowitz, self-proclaimed. I don't care. I actually do, in my heart, believe that Berkowitz wants to talk to me. I think even he's curious, and he understands that I'm the only person out there who really knows him. Yeah, all you Christians talking to him about salvation. He's laughing at you. So anyway, as we approach the warehouse, so my first question to Berkey would be, what was the deal with Kiggly Avenue? Now, of course, I'm much more interested in Kiggly Avenue, given the Wendy Savino story. And I came across this little passage here, which I don't think anyone in the Son of Sam community has seen before. But it's very stark. It says that, I'm paraphrasing, I'm gonna put the original up on the screen as I say this, but it says something to the effect of, it was at Kiggly Avenue where he first, where his mission to kill people, his mission first came to him. And again, it's on the screen, you could see it. So isn't this interesting in light of the Savino story? In this same passage, he talks about General Jack Cosmo being the leader and Sam Carr just being a general. So Cosmo was actually a bit higher up on the hierarchy than Sam Carr. Kiggly Avenue was where he first got the idea of his mission. As we see the 44 starting to get obliterated. And the one up there is still in good shape because nobody could get up there. And of course, probably almost impossible to see the various eyes and the Z at the end, which are right on that kind of like wall right there, that lip that juts out. So it looks like this is in basically the same state of repair that it was when we saw it last. So I want to get back up into Untermyer and check out the cross on the tree. So yeah, like what was the deal with Kiggly? When we first learned about Wendy Savino, I had no idea about this passage about how Kiggly Avenue was where he first got the idea. Or first became aware, or whatever the hell it said. Again, I'm going by memory. To me, that's important. So I would like to ask Berkowitz, what was the deal with Kiggly Avenue? I think that he's still angry. I think he's still angry at these people. So also, an interesting thing about Kiggly Avenue is on his US Postal Service application, numerous times he's asked previous addresses. And on every one, he omits Kiggly Avenue as an address, as a past address. He has 35 Pine Street, he has Barnes Avenue, both places where he committed crimes in those neighborhoods. He has then Co-op City and Stratford Avenue. He doesn't mention anything about Kiggly. Does that mean something? Again, I don't know. These are unanswered questions that I would like to pose to David Berkowitz. All right, so the second question that I would have for Berkowitz that I'm quite interested in is who were you in contact with during the spree? We personally here at the Grossman Files interviewed his friend Maria from Co-op City, who unequivocally said that she was in his apartment during the spree. She went up to Yonkers. So and there was a few people there, so he clearly was in touch with, and they were all friends from Co-op City, she said, no other people. So he clearly was in touch with people. On his USPS application, it mentions who his current contacts were, references, and it mentions Herb Trepper, Lenny Dapolito, and Jeffrey Hartenberg. And of course, those of you who are heads of the series remember my show where I report back on an extensive conversation I had with Jeff Hartenberg. He didn't want to be seen on camera, but I took copious notes of what he was saying and I reported it to you guys. And one of the things he said was that he felt responsible for Berkowitz wanting to go out to the Hamptons to shoot people because he was the one that had a conversation with Berkowitz about the discos in the Hamptons. And this was during the Son of Sam spree. He said, David, you got to get out there. Again, this part, I'm not sure if I'm remembering exactly what he said, but it was something, if I remember correctly, it was something to the effect of like how you need to go to the clubs and meet women. They got the great scene in the Hamptons. So that would be my second question. And my third on this note, and this is for the conspiracy heads, because even I still have a question about this, is what was the deal with Richie Sparazza? We know that you were buddies for a short period of time. We know that you were partying with him on December 24th, 1976, the same night that Rocket, the Netto German Shepherd dog, was shot. We know that the Nettos reported seeing you get into a driver's side of a vehicle that was already running. So we all speculate, even people who don't like me, speculate that Richie was in that car with you. So that's a question that I have regarding which way will we go? Actually, let's go back this way. It's more interesting visually. So my fourth question would be why did you choose Yonkers to move to? This is even something that I agree with Manipulating Mo about the puzzling nature of like, why did you choose to move to Yonkers? You were from the East Bronx. If anything, New Rochelle was made sense culturally, sociologically, right? Any of those towns on the east side of the Westchester County would have made more sense than this particular area of Yonkers. So what was the deal with your move to Yonkers here? Ah, the forsythia's in bloom. I didn't even notice that before. Or this actually, I'm not sure this, no, this is witch hazel. Very easy to confuse at a distance. I should have known better because it's too early for forsythia. So of course, those of you who are heads of the video series are already aware that Berkowitz had relatives who lived very close by to him in Yonkers. His cousins by his biological mother, his mother's sister, son, Robert, who was a biological first cousin to David Berkowitz, lived 3 blocks north of Pine Street, on a street called Hall's Terrace North. Very nice area. And he lived there with his wife, Susan Roberts, who also was known as Susan Sugar. I don't know why exactly. But Susan was married to Robert. Susan was the one that wrote the Good Housekeeping article after Berkowitz was arrested. She was the one that sent him multi-page letters to him in jail. So they lived just a couple blocks of north of Berkowitz. So did that have anything to do with his move? I don't know. Again, these are unanswered questions. For those gatekeeping Berkowitz, your comedy fodder. It's hilarious that you're doing that because, dude, to 99.9% of normal people, you guys who are Berkowitz's fans, you come off as lunatics. No normal person is going to empathize with your plight. That's one thing you don't seem to realize. So when you gleefully, with literal froth coming out of your mouth, proclaim about gatekeeping Berkowitz, it just makes you look bad. It doesn't affect me at all. I don't want to speak to Berkowitz. I mean, if I was offered the opportunity, of course I would, but I certainly wouldn't be going in there expecting truth. So, anyway, so these are questions that you can pose to your boy, and you could gleefully say, Manny wants to know the answers to these questions. Never give them to him. All right, so I got just 2 more questions as we walk towards the cross on the tree, as we look up the 1,000 steps, and as we look down off of this vista here where we can now actually see the mighty Hudson River. The veil has lifted. The Michael Vale Baron Chardkowski car has lifted. And now we can see the freaking river. So So for those of you who may be new to the channel and haven't seen my million videos from Untermyer Park, right up there is St. John's Hospital. Right down in there where that building is would have been the location of the former alleged Devil's Cave that had graffiti written on it by, by Billy the Artist and other drug takers that Maury then said was. So he would simultaneously have you believe that these were upper crust men who were doing child sacrifice and some satanic ritual with the process, but they were also New York City graffiti writers too. They just happened to have spray paint with them and write graffiti. So this is a question that I think is actually a really serious one, although they're all serious to me, but this one is the one that really interests me the most. Where'd you get your gun for Wendy? Where'd you get the 32? Now, of course, the fact that he could have gotten a 32 is without question. It was 1976 in New York City. He could have gotten a gun on any street corner from anyone, especially being a cab driver. Although I'm not sure he was a cab driver during this period yet, but he was a security guard. So him having a 32 means nothing in terms of the criminology aspect of it. The question is, where'd he get it? Because obviously they never found that gun on him. Although he did have a plethora of other makes, models, calibers of guns. So the answer, of course, is we have no freaking clue where he got it. No one has a clue. But here's one theory that has been posited to me by a person who isn't even with me on Savino, at least nowhere near 100%. And I never asked for 100%. I never asked anyone for anything. People have a very wrong impression about me. I believe, Wendy, I'm trying to present my case. That's all I can do. That's all I have control over. Your belief in it doesn't change anything. So even if my friends believe in it, whatever, right? Even that makes me a little skeptical, like, oh, you're just trying to curry favor. But there's no favor to be curried because I actually have no power whatsoever. So anyway, cross on the trees right down there. So this theory was posited to me by someone close to me in the game, but not necessarily a believer of the Wendy story. Hold on. Did they get rid of the freaking tree? Wait a second here. Maybe that's it over there. Oh, no, we haven't gotten to the spot yet. Sorry. This is the spot right here where Caveman said that bodies were buried. Yeah, good luck with that. Or that might have been over there. That's so irrelevant, I don't even remember anymore. So, yeah, there's the cross. Probably gonna be hard to see in this lighting. You know, it's funny, just as an aside on this cross on the tree, here's like a story that I rarely ever told, and certainly no details of it. But when we found this cross on the tree, this was when we still believed in Maury Terry. We were like, yo, there were bodies buried here, we found it. We found the site of the urban legend where local Yonkersonians knew there were bodies buried and they were put here. And I had detectives here, lieutenants from Yonkers PD. I had the head of cold case at the time, John Geis, very honorable and great person. He came down here. They were somewhat excited about this because they had heard all these rumors too. So that started a little relationship with the Yonkers PD several years ago. And because of that, I was able to take, I never told anybody this because I was under NDA, but I actually took Maury Terry's list of perpetrators directly to the top honchos of YPD. I actually did something Maury could never do. I had lieutenants, detectives, top brass of YPD in a room where I showed them the, the list, and I was politely yet firmly laughed out of the room. It was really a kind of a wake-up call, but they were nice. I have to say they weren't, because they all believed somewhat in this lie too. But just like they woke up when they started to see Maury Terry's quote-unquote evidence. Well, they're professionals. They woke up much quicker than I did. It still took me a couple months after that. But anyway, the gun. So the theory that was posited to me that Berkowitz got his gun possibly from his father. And if you think about it, there's some validity to this argument. I'm not saying it's fact, but it's one case to be made as we walk up this freaking very steep hill. As we look up towards the eagle's nest. Infamous place where Billy the artist hoaxed Maury Terry to no end by showing him comic book characters and making up the story about Mr. Williams' hole was freaking hilarious. Yeah, I said, they called this place Mr. Williams' hole, and whenever they said Mr. Williams, everyone giggled. I mean, Billy the artist, dude's in his own way, it's a freaking genius. And anyway, I'm getting off of Billy for a minute here. The gun. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but I didn't come out here even with a set plan. Today was strictly inspired by the stupid rumor. I wrote a letter to Berkowitz praising myself. If I wrote a letter to Berkowitz, guys, even those of you who don't like me, do you really think I would do it under a false name? I mean, do you really think I'm that stupid? Or that I'm interested in playing these stupid games? If I sent a letter to Berkowitz, first of all, I wouldn't praise myself, but I definitely would name myself proudly. And I would just state my business. And if I was truly interested enough to send a letter, I would then wait patiently for a reply, which may never come. But I don't care. Ooh. So I know I haven't talked about the 32 yet. We're getting to it. Beautiful Carracks. Looks amazing. Actually, no, this might not be Carracks. I tell you, being out of the gardening game just for about a year, like being out of the heavy duty nature of it, because my last year gardening was shit. Barely did nothing. But being out of the game, like I'm forgetting freaking plant names. It's crazy. I gotta get my shit back together. But so Berkowitz's father was military. He would have had extensive experience with firearms. He was also a shopkeeper in the South Bronx, in a Melrose area, I think it's 53rd and Melrose Avenue, where he was in a rapidly changing neighborhood, okay? And so as a shopkeeper owner, and one of the things he said was that he got robbed. This guy most likely had a gun. And maybe it was a 32. And maybe in this scenario, and again, I'm just speculating, that's all we can do. Maybe in this scenario, he left to go to Florida and he gave his 32 to Berkowitz. That would make sense timeline-wise. And then Berkowitz happened to have this gun the night he went out and shot Wendy. And then because it could be tied to his father, who he loved dearly and who he would not want to jam up, that could be one reason why this gun and this shooting has never come up, and he absolutely denies it to this day. Who knows? Again, speculation. As my battery runs out, hopefully we make it to the top. If things just stop, my battery ran out, okay? And thanks for joining us, but I'll try to get through a little bit more. And then, of course, my last question is, did you shoot anyone else? Or kill anyone else in any other manner? I don't think you were a sexual sadist. I don't think you were a hands-on killer. Your attempt at stabbing went horribly wrong. I think you were the coward that everyone says you are. Having to shoot people in parked cars. People who could never fight back. People had no idea that you were on their tail. And you did it in a very cowardly fashion. So, I would just like to know, were there any more cowardly acts? Like sniping incidents? I have to say that there is one incident that has gotten the attention of law enforcement vis-a-vis David Berkowitz and possible other shootings. But there's nowhere for it to go because it just is not possible to investigate at this point. So I'm not even going to bring that case up. But just know that another case does exist that has been looked at very seriously as being another set of Berkowitz crimes. And maybe I'll see what I can do about talking about that in the future. But that's basically it. As we end this latest walk around Untermyer Park on this absolutely beautiful overcast day commemorating our 4 years together. Thank you to everybody who's been here. Thank you to all the new viewers. Thank you all past viewers. We're rapidly ending this video series this year as I pivot towards things that really matter in terms of my survival on this so-called planet. It's not the video series, I have to say. We are waiting for this Netflix thing to come out. I've been told it's coming out in the summer. That's all I'll say about it. And that's basically it. So, hope you enjoyed this, guys. No, I did not write a letter to Berkowitz. No, I'm not interested in speaking to Berkowitz. But if I were, you now have my main questions that I would ask this guy. Do you have any? If so, leave them in the comments. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.